Hi, welcome to this edition of How to Q. Today we are going to remove and reset this post. I'm going to make a cut at the bottom. We're going to install this post base. Keeps it off the ground, keeps water away from it, and then eventually we're going to pave this patio. But today I'm going to show you how to take down a post, make a cut, more importantly install this. I've got a 4-inch redhead anchor bolt to do that with. We're going to do that now. Oh, and by the way, I have my 89-year-old helper. What's your name?
Sam.
My 89-year-old helper slash father-in-law slash El Jefe. He's going to help me with this job, so let's get started. All right, I wanted to squeeze in a quick shot of these 20-year-old posts. They definitely needed to be replaced. All right, you are going to see me using shoring posts. I rented these for $12, overkill. I'm replacing every single one of these posts. I've actually already replaced 3. I got 3 shoring posts, $36. Rent these on a Saturday. If they're closed on Sunday, you get it for 2 days. So the way you use these is you've got this pin, and I'm going to use a jack with 2 pieces of lumber tied together. You probably only need 1, and you basically just move this up and down to put it up against the beam. I've got a 4x6 beam I'm putting this up against, which I've already showed you. You basically put that through there, sort of. So you put that through there, put that on there. Every time you move that beam up, you either screw it up or screw it down. Every time you use that jack to raise or lower it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this beam supported before I start doing anything to it. All right, so I got Sam holding onto the shoring post. I'm going to jack up the beam, and then we're going to rotate that shoring jack up to meet the beam as I raise the beam. All right, once I feel a little give on that beam, it's now time to screw up, so to speak, that shoring post just to support it. All right, now that we've got that totally supported, it's time to take a pry bar, a cat's paw, or a nail puller. Definitely have one of these on hand. These are galvanized nails. You can already see the give. Again, I barely lifted up that beam, maybe a 1/4 of an inch. This is the post cap that I'm removing. I'll just replace these with new post caps. And everything, again, that I am using in this is down in the description. And you can see the difference in size of the beam and the post there. Now that I've got it, all the nails pulled, it's time to just totally remove that, and it's good to go. Now we're going to set up the post base where we want it to go. We'll set the post base, then we're going to cut. If you have a laser or a plumb bob and you're setting a new post, that's when you'd use this, but these have already been set. I know exactly where they go, so I don't even need that. Okay, now probably the hardest part. I do not have a good saw, a large enough saw to cut this. So I need to cut this to 89 1/4 based on the other beams. All right, so for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is the visual. This is great because you basically have a water channel here for any water that'll get down on the ground, and it won't be basically touching the wood as much as it normally would be. I'm gonna make this cut, and I'm also going to paint it to create another barrier to water, just to basically seal it up a little bit better. If you've got a raw post, seal it as soon as you can. I'm in Phoenix, so the sun will totally destroy it. So I'm gonna cut it, paint it, then set it. Again, the cutting it's the hard part. I've got to keep on rotating it. You could use just a regular power saw. I've got my miter saw. I know it's very straight. And I've got my little jig set up to make sure this is all level. All right, just so you know, when you're doing something like this, you are not going to get a 100% flat cut. If I could just use the factory edge, I would have. So I'm just doing the best I can to make sure that this is flat on the bottom. I'm using my square here. I usually should have just put the cap on the top of it. Here you can see actually there's really not much rot even just after a 1-inch cut. I'm putting some latex paint on just to, again, get that barrier. Now I am setting it. I'm kind of doing a dry fit here just to see exactly where I need to put that post base, where I need to drill into the ground. It's approximately where the old one was, so it's pretty easy to figure out. I mark it, and now it's time to set it. All right, so now it's time to drill into concrete. I have got a Makita drill. You know I love it. And it's got hammer drill function. Why use a hammer drill function when you got this awesome TE6A22 Hilti? I have a Hilti rep as a neighbor. Thank you, Dan. All right, now I grab that post base, set it in the area that I had marked, find the center, and make sure my drill bit, it's a 1/2 inch drill bit, is slightly longer than that 4 1/4 inch redhead, 1/2 inch diameter. This Hilti made quick work of this hole. It just went right through it. Of course, I sped it up just a little bit, but it really did go right through. It would have taken forever on my other drill. So now what you want to do is get that dust out as best you can. If you've got compressed air, use that. This is a wet dry vac that I'm using. Then you take that 4 1/4 inch redhead. It is a wedge anchor. I'm trying to show you a little of that. So what you do is you tap that down, you grab the washer and you grab the nut, and then you tighten it and it pulls up and wedges into that hole. This was pretty easy, actually easier than I thought. Okay, one of the things that I did was, there are 5 nails in here, very long. So I'm going to use the same nail holes. I've just got lag bolts, 1/4 inch lag bolts, 4 inches long. Good way to just, it's a good way to secure it and use the same holes and not destroy the wood. So that's what we went with. I've got this preset. We're going to make sure it's plumb and on all sides, and then we'll drill it in, and that'll be it. Before you start drilling, make sure you lower the beam. Never done that. All right, now that the post base is set in the concrete, time to plumb up that post and drill it in. I almost didn't lower. All right, having a helper, AKA a guy like Sam, who's 89, he was out here for 8 hours today with me. I want to grow up and be like him. It's huge to have help, especially at this point. Having a chuck on your drill, impact, awesome. All right, how you attach the post to the beam and to that post base is really up to you. Because I had galvanized nails in here already, the holes were there, I decided to, again, use these lag bolts, 1/4 inch lag bolts, 4 inches long. I also used these LUMBERLOK screws. That was actually suggested by the lumber company I got the post from. They worked out great. Buy plenty of them. You're going to need almost all of them. So that's me just attaching the post base to the post. And this job is pretty much done. I did all 4. I replaced the outside 2. Again, that's why those are painted, fully painted. We're going to get this house painted here soon, so this job is done. Okay, that is it for this job. How do we do?
We did fine. I just wanted to see how he's doing all these things, and very interesting.
Yeah, we learned a lot, but I could not do it without this guy on this job and my nephew Garrett, so thank him and say goodbye.
Say goodbye. I will. Okay, have a nice day.
See you guys. Check out the next edition of How To Q. That'll be coming hopefully soon.